And welcome to another episode of Funny Talk with Mangelli and Max with your host, Tom Mangelli, that's me, and Doug Max. Say hello, Doug.
Hello, Doug. Hello, Tom. And hello, Joanne Filan, our special comedy guest tonight.
Yay.
Hello,
Hey,
Doug,
Joanne.
Tom.
Thanks for
Hi, I'm
coming.
so excited. It was
Yeah.
my pleasure. Excited to be here, which is actually just here in my place. So I'm
Yeah, and it's your
slowly
pleasure,
not
and
being
you're
excited.
excited to be here because we only just begun.
We'll
Hopefully,
change
you'll
that,
feel
don't
like
worry.
that in 10 minutes.
Doug, before we get into the show, I just want to mention our sponsor, our wonderful sponsor, Jack Hoffman of J. Irwin Productions. If you want to put together, yes, thank you, Jack Hoffman. If you want to put together a comedy show for a fundraiser or a restaurant showcase, or say just a private party, contact Jack at jirwinproductions.com. He's the guy to call, guy to contact. He knows all the great comedians. He even knows Doug and I and Joanne, and he'll put you together a great venue, and you'll want to have a second one right away because they're so good. And he's great to work with, right, Doug?
He is. And also, so you know, during these COVID times where we have many of our comic friends that are desperate, they're lonely, they'll do anything for live comedy. For about $10 to $12 an hour, Jack can find you a comedian to come clean your bathroom, kitchen, whatever you want, laundry, make your beds. Comedians, let me tell you, comedians will drive, they're idiots. They'll drive 2.5 hours to get to you and make your bed to earn $15 an hour. You have to listen to their comedy you have to let them do like a 5-minute set while they're doing your bed. Am I wrong?
I do my best work in bed.
Am I wrong, Tom? If somebody called you up on Gig Salad, you too, Joanne, and said, listen, I know it's unusual, but would you come and clean my bathroom and make my bed?
Listen,
I'll
I
give you
just want to
30
publicly,
bucks.
I want to publicly announce my partner here is OCD, and he would love to come clean your bathroom. Me, on the other hand, not so much.
I'm in between the both of you, I guess. I mean, depending on the pay, I don't know if 15 is enough. I think it'd have to be a little bit higher.
Well, Joanne, listen, I want to say, first of all, when I started comedy, I was at an open mic at the Comedy Cove, and Joanne was there. It was one of my early new talent nights or something like that. Back before I called myself a comedian. And Joanne was there. And I remember, I don't know what I did, but getting off, I remember you were sitting at the corner table and you did something like you acknowledged my existence. And it was an early on show. And
It was a first for Doug.
First of all, I never forgot that. And because you were one of the more experienced comics that I saw early on, I remember being so amazed at how cool you were and how comfortable you were and how it didn't matter that you had no idea what you were doing. You
True. So true. And it's the same today.
If you do it right, right? If you do it right. If you want to engage in the audience, you have to throw yourself in. You don't know what you're going to get.
True. It's a little mixture of I don't know what I'm doing and I don't care what I'm doing. I find that's a good, blend.
But there's a difference because there are an awful lot of comics out there that don't know and don't care. And they have that great, what do we call it, Tom? The delivery, the persona, but no humor.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
True.
So I brushed my teeth. Get it?
Oh, that's a good one. Those were the days. I know. What do you think is worse, though? Do you find that a persona, no comedy, no humor, or a humorous person with no persona? What do you think is worse? Some people are just meant to be writers, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
You see them,
that's actually
you really
on stage.
you really need both to really click and connect with the audience. Yeah.
Well, I certainly need the delivery. I know that.
You should go through the postal worker training.
Hello,
You could
audience.
get a
This is
job.
an
There's like,
Uzi.
yeah.
This is an Uzi. You pay attention to me if you know what's good for you, and you laugh at the appropriate places.
Comedy gone postal.
Joanne, how has COVID comedy been for you? Have you been doing Zoom stuff? Have you been doing live?
I've been doing a mixture as the time has gone on, obviously weaned off the live stuff as, things got worse and the weather got worse. And I am somewhat intermittent with the Zooms. I do them. It's it's so hard.
Yeah, I know it is. That's
Really
why
is.
our show is a good
Yeah.
excuse for warming people up to Zoom, because it's not comedy, it's our show. We know that.
It's true. It's true. And
Takes
they
the
think,
pressure off.
right, exactly. Yeah. There's nothing funny about this.
Not at all. Oh, so
If
you've
we
seen
do
the
it, listen, if we do it
You've
right,
seen the show.
Yes.
years after somebody has made me laugh, I still love them. Julia Scotti is the winner of that, though. When I was near the end
Absolutely.
of my divorce, did you ever hear her bagel story? The guy that picked her up on a blind
She
date.
did
and
it
he
one
brought her-
time.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Tom. I know that's gluten. At the time, he was a baker and he brought her a bag of a dozen bagels. And she said, I remember I laughed where she said, a dozen bagels, in the way she says that. Anyway, I don't know why I said
See?
that, but they say if people make you laugh, you love them until you find out that they're a sociopath.
Right. And then you cancel them.
Yeah.
Now,
you do.
Joanne, how much do you use comedy as a defense mechanism? Like me, for instance.
Shut up. I mean,
You
well,
fat oaf.
that's not comedy. That's just being defensive, I guess. That is all I use for anything, for all of the emotions, any kind of, it's just comedy. It's all, I have no other emotions or abilities. I use it completely and utterly, probably more than necessary.
Can I ask you, because I'm running, I'll be honest with my audience and run the risk of needing a new girlfriend, but so
Yeah, you better not ask me out.
I was going to ask you if you run into troubles being a comedian where it intersects and / interferes with your personal life. So your partner does something that you think, that's a bit, and you write it out loud. Now,
That's a good question. That's a good, I think if anything, I would more run into troubles if I just took everything that went on as comedy between, my wife and I. If it was all, she would probably eventually want to punch me if I was comedy 24/7.
Tom, you
But
can't
as far
control
as,
it
yeah.
though, can you? You can't control it in your personal life and interactions with people. If there's a wordplay in the neighborhood, you will step on the accelerator to get to it. Am
No,
I
it's
wrong?
like Tourette's syndrome for me. It just like comes out.
Yeah.
When I used to teach public school, I was a horrible role model. That's the word I'm looking for.
Ooh, it's a cat.
But you were a
Really bad at
huge
doing
role
it.
model. Don't forget that.
Yes, I was. Lay down.
Anyway, I'm looking for a balance because, seriously, I've really never been with a woman where I was married for 20 years. It's funny to say this, but for the first time in my life, I'm understanding what it means to be a partner. And I want to be a comedian. I know I'm going to get a laugh from an audience. I know it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a Tuesday.
Well,
I want to get ready for that. And I need to write material, and I want to do it with real
was
world.
this that laugh that me and Tom just gave you? Because
Yeah.
it's Tuesday, you know.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
That was fair enough. So what are your worries, or what is it that you're concerned about, that
Hey,
your comedy will
excuse
not
me.
blend?
This is our show. What are your
Sorry.
worries?
I'm worried that you won't find someone to be your partner. I want you to find a partner.
That's the story of my life.
Actually, she's a wonderful
Mm.
partner.
Oh,
And you know
nice.
something though, the one thing she does for me, which is both good and bad for my comedy, she tells me when my jokes are not funny. And whether I like it or not, if she thinks that, there's going to be some amount of people in the audience that will think that too. People are different and have different tastes. She didn't go through the experience I had. She had, we had different lives.
Well, it's nice then that she could be, you guys are honest with each other, and she can tell you when you suck at comedy.
And I'm a comedian, so like a really good liar.
There you go. I appreciate if my wife doesn't find something that I have written to be funny. I don't necessarily agree, but I do appreciate when she brings it up. And I just think to myself, well, someone else will find it funny.
Right.
And
Now,
then
find
it
it funny.
turns out to just
Tell
be
her.
me.
Tell her, screw her. Doug Max, he'll find it funny.
Max will find it. That's going to be my answer. It's my go-to answer. Anytime she's like, I don't know about that one. I mean, Doug Max will find it funny.
Joanne,
Damn it.
you give her my number. She could call me up anytime you
will.
need anytime you need a wingman,
All right.
And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm used to it. I'm older. I don't sleep so well. I'll be up peeing. Anyway,
Okay.
anytime,
I try not
day or
to.
night.
All right.
She'll say, listen, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah. And I'll catch up really quick and I'll cover for you. Whatever
Thanks.
you need.
I appreciate that, Doug.
And that's all.
You're a good man.
That's the pay you get for being on the show. Free
awesome.
lying and wingman service, right?
I thought you were also going to come and clean my bathroom.
It's $15 an hour. You said that wasn't enough though, but I love cleaning.
Oh, really? You're just, yeah. Okay.
I'm really,
Joanne, you should have seen him just before we went live. He spilled his bourbon all over his desk and he freaked out. He really is OCD.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was a thing to behold.
Get the hand towel from the back of the door. Not that towel. That's my bath towel. There wasn't a towel on the back of the door. Yes, there was.
What's your bourbon brand? What kind do you like?
So right now I am drinking Tom, what is it? It's
I know.
It's Woodford, I think.
Woodford
bourbon. I'll normally pick something that isn't the cheapest. I used to drink Jim Beam, and since I mix it with 7-Up, I probably should be doing that, but it's normally, something. What about you? Do you have a spirit?
My mom, I tell you, well, the reason I ask is because my mom, when she would have a drink on the rare occasion, her drink was bourbon. So since she's passed, when my sisters and I get together, we will try to do a shot of bourbon in her honor.
Nice.
As horrible as it is.
Have it with 7-Up.
See, we've just gotten to be smaller and smaller shots, but they're very
the eyedropper
shotlets. They're very, it's like a quick little, and sometimes it's just like a look at it go by and then
like a booster shot.
Yeah.
So do you
just
have a
inject
favorite?
It,
Do you have a favorite drink? Do you drink alcohol? I don't.
I'm not a huge drinker. I enjoy some beers. Also, we'll have. I enjoy a nice mimosa at brunch with the missus occasionally. But I did have, and I believe it's more a whiskey than a bourbon, which I don't know as far as taste wise how much of a difference there is. I know it's more in the making or something, the difference between bourbon and whiskey. I'm not completely
You
sure.
got me. It's, you know,
Okay.
it's hops, it's rye, it's whatever they, you know. Who
But I
knows?
did have a nice it was called Knob Hill.
Oh,
Is that yeah, okay?
That's a
Is
brand
that,
of
I don't
bourbon.
know.
I've had that. Mhm.
Okay. And with a cold brew coffee chaser. Was very nice,
Interesting.
I have to say. You know, it was a nice mix.
Interesting. I
Yeah,
might
so
give that a shot someday.
yeah, if you're into coffee and
You know, I grind coffee, but I make it in a stovetop espresso maker and then add milk, a little bit of half and half, and raw sugar. That's my morning coffee.
that's a
It's
good
almost an
coffee.
Olay. Hmm?
That's a nice here's the kitty cat. What's the cat's name again?
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Joey Bag of Donuts. I got
Say hi.
that's here, but pay attention.
Say hello.
Oh,
Griffin, you want to say hello to everybody? Griffin.
Hello.
Griffin.
hi Joey.
Hello.
Oh, what a cute guy.
Right.
Griffin's not into it.
Griffin.
He's not up for it.
Griffin, say hello to Joey. Griffin.
And
Joey Bag of Donuts.
Griffin is a bit of a paperweight.
Yeah.
Nice.
Griffin.
You're doing what we all want to do, Griffin.
Yeah.
Just lie on the couch. Are you a coffee drinker, Tom?
I was a huge coffee drinker. Now I'm just huge.
All right.
No, I
For our
switched.
great, though,
Ethiopian
actually.
listeners, that was American comedy.
I switched to green tea when I went on my health kick. I've been on a health kick all year.
Yeah, you
it's
look
only-
great.
It's only February. Oh, you can't tell.
I
dropped like-
can actually. Your shirt is baggy. Look at it. I see
Yeah.
wrinkles in it.
That's true.
Your shirts were never wrinkled before, Tom.
I'll tell you, I've only lost 20 pounds and I'm kind of like hovering like the Hindenburg at that number. But I'm not doing it for the weight loss. I'm doing it for the health benefits. Like
That's great.
my primary goal was to bring my blood sugar down. I'm diabetic. And I did. I brought it down a lot. It's down to almost the normal range, which it hasn't been in
Great.
a long time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know something? I didn't think I was going to do this show, Tom, but I'd like to announce for all our listening audience person. You listening, Kathy? So
hope so.
Tom,
Yes.
Tom has dedicated himself within the next year to run a half marathon. And we'd like all our listeners to write in with messages of support and praise. And when we get to it, you'll be willing to pledge per mile, per yard.
It's not so much a pledge as it is a bet. The
Excellent.
only marathons I've been able to finish is a Honeymooners and Twilight Zone.
Hey, Doug,
Oh, the
say if
Twilight
he
Zone.
doesn't like
Okay.
make it, say if he only makes it like a quarter of the way, what do we get back? Huh?
You know, it's not going to happen unless I'm chasing an ice cream truck.
Tom, I'm going to buy an ice cream truck. I'm going to buy a good humor truck. Actually, a good humor truck would be perfect. Tom, Joanne, since you're on the show, when I'm thinking of this brilliant idea, we'll buy a good
like it.
humor truck, but instead of, we can sell ice cream, but we'll do comedy. Good.
We'll sell
humor.
ice cream and good
Comedy. We'll have the megaphone, we'll have the bells and the, you know, the what do they call it? The calliope.
Oh, right, the little music, the creepy music.
What's the song that used to play when you were a kid?
Well, it didn't play a song, but the Mr. Softy truck had their own music.
Wasn't it like the monkey Pop Goes the Weasel or whatever?
It was similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
used
was
to use
thinking.
I used to use it for when I used to do the Mickey Who show in Randolph, and they used to ask the comics, what song do you want to be brought up by? And I used to use the theme song from the Mr. Softy truck.
Nice. I hope you gave out ice cream. I'd have been like, hey.
Anytime
damn it,
I
where's
think of an ice cream truck, I think of that scene from Borat where the bear leapt out of the good humor truck. You both have to have
See?
seen that, don't you?
I
Haven't you?
saw it. I don't remember that.
I
Really?
I'm
They
it
got
sounds
a
familiar.
bear
It's been a
from
very
some.
long time.
They
Man,
they
was it a
got a
bear?
bear from some
Is that
carnival,
what it was?
and it was in their good humor truck,
Shit.
and they're driving with the bells on, and all the kids come up to the window to get ice cream, and the bear leaps out and goes, "Rrr!" You know,
See,
it's
that's
similar to the scene from where the cow gets shot in what movie am I thinking of? Where the bus goes by and the cow is shot. It's a cult film with a really goofy. You will all remember it.
I know a
the
horse
bus
got
goes
shot.
by and the
Who?
cow gets shot.
I said, I remember a horse getting shot in Animal House.
Name is that?
What, a horse gets a cow got
Cow
shot?
gets shot when a school bus drives by. It's a really nerdy kid in high school who helps his Hispanic friend become president.
Napoleon
Oh,
Dynamite.
Thank you, Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes,
Ah.
Napoleon Dynamite.
See, I never even saw that movie actually. So I
Joanne,
was
you've
a good
never
answer
seen that?
then.
yeah, I didn't see
Oh,
it.
you know
No,
something? I happened to be channel surfing and caught it at like a really odd time, and I couldn't look away. I think you would enjoy it. It's a really odd movie. I think it's really well done.
Well, I have some free time, so I might have to check it
Yeah.
out.
Tom, you've seen it, right?
Yeah,
Am
not in
I
a
right?
while.
It's a really odd movie and
Oh
really.
yeah, it is. It's a
Yeah.
cult. It's got a cult following. They actually sell merchandise. Vote for Pedro T-shirts and stuff.
Ah, yes.
Well, she wouldn't know because she hasn't seen it, but.
Right.
But I'm familiar
movies?
with all the references, I believe. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
one of those things.
Now, speaking
I'm,
of movies, I think Joey Novik recently posted on Facebook your opinions of the 8 top iconic American comedies. What would you consider an iconic American comedy film?
What would I consider an iconic American? When I think of comedy, well, I automatically want to go to like a Mel Brooks kind of thing, like maybe like Young Frankenstein
Yeah,
or
Ooh, good
something.
one.
That's a good one.
that was
Or-
one of my picks.
Yeah, or Airplane, actually. Any of
There you
those?
go.
In the
Those are
naked,
some
what was it? The
classics.
Naked Gun, all
Naked
that. Tom,
Gun.
you would love
Mm.
that stuff because it was so stupid.
That's some
Don't
good
call
shit,
me
man.
Shirley.
Leslie Nielsen, man, Leslie Nielsen, a hilarious
I
fella.
saw him in a Columbo last night. He was
Oh,
murdered
yeah.
early on in the show.
No, he was
Leslie Nielsen
he was murdered in the show.
and Patrick McGowan, famous from The Prisoner, which nobody has seen but me.
Okay.
Was the evil guy.
I enjoyed Leslie Nielsen in the very brief but serious role as the captain on the Poseidon
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
Was he?
70s
Really?
movie, The Poseidon Adventure.
Poseidon
Yes.
You know who that
Adventure, yeah.
should have been?
Yeah.
It should have been the guy from Love Boat. Who was what
From
was
who?
his name?
Gavin
Gavin
McLeod.
McLeod. They should have gotten him for the Titanic, right?
Sure. Well, he was.
Am I
I
wrong?
think Leslie Nielsen played it well, though. He
Yeah,
played
no,
the
he played it
serious.
good.
Oh my God, kind of.
And
that
they
was
should
a-
have put Gopher on the movie with like serving Leonardo DiCaprio.
I have to
Well-
say,
off.
Leslie Nielsen, he started as a serious comic, a serious actor.
right.
Not too many serious actors can do comedy well. He was one of them. I
He
think Joe
nailed it, man.
Pesci is another one, I think.
Who?
Yes.
Joe Pesci.
I when they had that show, what's the Naked Gun movies were based on, from the Files of Police Squad, that
Right.
sitcom. He just was, I love that show. That was so great. It was like 6 episodes, but it was so funny.
Uh-huh.
Like the guy's like, who are you and how did you get in here? And he's like, I'm the locksmith and I'm the locksmith. Which is,
Why does that remind me of Fire Sign Theater? Do you know Fire Sign Theater?
no, what is that?
He walked down the street doggedly. And then he turned the corner and walked into a building at the corner of 4th and 9th. Ow! That was Fire Sign Theater.
Well, that's the reason we don't know it.
There you go.
Wow, I'm older
History
than
Science
everybody.
Theater.
That's the thing,
Wow.
Tom. You know, you ought to start working on my eulogy, buddy. Because if we're doing this show and I drop dead, you gotta be prepared. You know.
Wait, have you not noticed the medical mess I'm in? You're going to be
Oh,
saying,
you want to bet? You want to bet?
I guarantee
We could
I
make
beat
money
you.
on this, Tom. You know something?
You
We
guys
could
should
make money.
like let me know how to wrap this up in case you both die before it's over.
Just
We can
keep on
only hope.
talking. Stephanie
only
will come
hope.
up and eventually turn off the computer.
Okay.
She's
I'll
smart.
just,
She'll
you know.
figure out she should upload it.
Okay, good. All right. As long
But
as somebody,
really should,
you know.
Tom, it reminds me, we really should have a disaster plan for our show. What will people do
Exit
if,
stage
God
left.
forbid,
Mm.
something happens and we go off the air?
Uh-huh.
What
Man.
should we do to console?
Well,
You know?
if we're both dead, what do we care?
True. That's true. But what's great is you'll be able to use that good humor truck. You know, store your
If I
bodies
get
right in
it,
there.
I'll add you as a I'll add you on the deed, Joanne. So you can
Thank you.
Well, so
Thank
for
you.
our audio listeners, you're not aware that Joanne is wearing a shirt with an alien on it,
As Joanne is
So-
wearing a shirt.
which is a wonderful segue to the portion of our show that all our listeners know we do called So, do you believe in aliens? Joanne, you're on the hot seat. So, you
So,
believe in
do I believe in
aliens?
aliens? I believe in aliens. Yes, I do. I believe there is other life forms out there other than us. Unless you were speaking of illegal aliens, which I also believe in as well. And
You should, because you know something? I was so angered. I live in suburban New Jersey, and right before the elections, after they had mailed out the ballots, there were these roaming bands of like 6 and 7-year-old kids. They'd form bands of like 5 or 6 together, and they'd roam through the neighborhood stealing ballots, you know, filling them out and sending them in. It was horrible. There were like millions of them. Did you have that in your neighborhood? The
Just
illegal
lots of
baby
children.
immigrant ballot stealers?
Yes.
It was
Oh my.
rampant.
It's crazy. Those crazy
They
little things.
probably, those 6 and 7-year-olds, I don't know how they got the organization that they did, but I think they changed the results of our election.
You could
think they're
very
that
well
good.
be right. Yeah. They sure did.
Listen, in Summit, they were forming little human illegal baby immigrant pyramids and getting up to the
I
mailbox.
was wondering how many words were.
I was
gonna connect on
wondering
that
too.
one. Little baby illegal human.
Illegal baby immigrant ballot stealers forming human pyramids.
Ah, damn.
Okay, Tom doesn't
Those
like doing
kids.
politics on the show, but Joanne, I know politics are important to you, like they should be to any feeling and caring person, Tom. But
Oh, it matters to me. I
it
just
has
don't.
been a whirlwind, hasn't it? Politically,
Yes, it
it has
has.
been. I'm
Mhm.
like a political wonk, and I hate to say I love following all this, but and predicting what's going to happen.
Oh, you do.
I do.
It's pretty intense. It's been a hell of a last year. This year, it's still It's never-ending excitement.
So I can't wait to
And,
find out who's going to be our president. That's,
I know.
I'm
I
like,
know. And
that's
for
it
how
for me.
long? You know. So,
Joanne, I think he's going to have a show on One America Network in like a week or two,
yeah,
if he doesn't get
probably.
clogged up with court cases.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That's his go-to. They are the last bastion of his
Now, yeah.
complete and total support.
No, he's
until
got
they get sued.
Newsmax. Newsmax is with him.
Oh, okay. Newsmax. Is Newsmax? I don't know. I'm not familiar. Is Newsmax a channel, or is it
It's another cable news network that is far
okay.
right of Fox.
Yeah, it's impressive.
So
So
sort of reality deniers, you'd call them.
So we're going to start this portion of our show called Random Questions.
Okay.
Good save, Tom.
I prepared a few questions. I tried to be as
stupid as possible.
Random. Fair enough.
Random. All right, so here comes question number one. You ready?
Okay. Is it
All right,
for everybody or just me?
This is for you, Joanne.
Okay.
All right, what's your favorite pie?
You don't care what I think, Tom, anymore?
I never did.
Has it come
What's
to
my
this?
favorite pie?
What's your favorite
My
pie?
favorite pie is 3.14. My favorite pie. I think I like apple,
Okay.
but like I like a a la mode kind of thing.
Ah.
You know, with the warm with the
A
yeah,
la
that's his
Alamode's my
mode.
middle name, by the way.
So I think the answer to
Fair
that
enough.
is she really doesn't like pie unless it's with an. Am I guessing right? Vanilla ice cream? Are you classic?
Yes, vanilla.
I'm the same way.
Vanilla, but I need it to be non-dairy. I need not so I would like
A vanilla sorbet.
okay, sounds good. Or I found some wonderful oat milk type ice creams.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, thank you. I will accept your condolences.
All right. Next question. What was it like touring with Sha Na Na?
Oh, well. It was like a la mode. It was it was like apple pie. It was I don't even know who and how many people are in Sha Na Na? How many?
Oh, there were
and
hundreds.
How many of
there
them
were
are
like
alive?
what, 7? Bowser
Are they
was
all
one of them.
alive
That's the
still?
only name I know.
Yeah, they actually still do shows. I saw.
Really?
I don't know why I was trolling Sha Na Na on YouTube.
But you
This
know,
is what
you
happens.
reminded me, Joanne, am I wrong? Didn't you entertain troops for our country?
I did.
Can you
They
tell
were
us
not
about
the
what
Sha Na
that was
Na
like?
troops, but I
It was
have
the Kiss song.
it was yes, Sha Na Na. I'm sure they probably have performed for the troops as well.
Yeah.
But we did not go together. I performed for the troops over in Europe, and that was fabulous. The most amazing, fulfilling experience of my comedy life,
And
of my
why
life
was
in
that?
general, almost.
Why was it the most
Just
fulfilling?
because they were so gracious, so wonderful, and so grateful for them, obviously. And it was a very fulfilling, it felt like I had a purpose almost.
I understand. These people, soldiers, my father was a soldier. These people are willing to risk their lives for us.
What branch was your father?
He was in the Army. But
My father was in the Navy.
He really only served for like 2 or 3 months, and then he flipped over a Jeep and got captured by the Nazis. So
Wow.
but then he escaped. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Man,
No, I
just-
had an aunt in the army. It was an army aunt. That's stupid.
Wow.
You're
That's nice.
listening to Funny Talk with Max.
Oh man.
You were listening.
Yeah.
Now it's over.
All right.
Okay,
So
Tom.
this question is
Oh.
for Doug and Joanne.
Okay.
If you had to choose a last meal, what would it be?
I know mine.
Go ahead.
Well, I love prime ribs.
Okay.
Mm.
And believe it or not, my mother, when I was probably a teenager, she said, if you're ever asked what you want for your last meal, ask for truffles because they only grow a certain time of the year and they're really hard to get. This was back in the day, like, you know, when long distance was a big deal, you know?
Wow. Smart thinking.
So I have to come up with something truffle-like that, you know, some herb that only emerges and is available. It has to have a very short half-life. We'll get back to that.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a.
And then I'd like potatoes on the side. Prime
Okay,
rib,
well.
truffles, and potatoes.
Potatoes.
Alrighty
What
then.
kind of potatoes? Like mashed or like roasted, baked?
Something that takes a really long time.
Okay.
What would that be?
Well, I would think twice baked would be a little bit longer than just baked.
Thrice.
Yes. Just add a number of other baked levels of baking.
Quint baked. What's how do you bake something 6 times? Hex
That is
baked?
hept,
Sept
octo baked,
sept baked, oct,
nana baked,
nana good, deca
nana
baked.
baked. Okay, we are very well
You know,
versed.
Joanne, I don't know if you can tell, but Tom is drooling right now. Get a hanky,
I
Tom.
am.
The amount of
Every
potato
time we
baking.
bake it, it gets it's like it's pre-digested. I can eat it and I don't have to do any work. It's all
gonna
done
be
for
like
me.
it's gonna be like just a smell of potato by the end. It's just a
What
waft.
is, am I wrong? Is twice baked potato just like a fancy way to remarket leftovers? Like they picked it off of Ben's plate. He didn't finish it in the restaurant. They throw it into a hopper and they bake it
Well,
again.
if they're Ben's twice baked potatoes, then yes. Then, but I don't know if all potatoes.
Have you ever
I don't
worked in a
know.
restaurant before? Do you know the inside workings behind the scenes?
I have not.
I
Have you?
have.
What restaurant did you work in?
So I
oh, go ahead.
I worked in an Italian place and it was called the Lettuce Leaf, a salad restaurant in St. Louis. And one of the restaurants, I won't say, would, you know, if there was butter left over in the butter dish where people would dip their knife in it and put it on there and eat and dip their knife. Anyway, they'd save the butter and they'd save the bread and they'd make croutons out of it. Tom lives in a world that's crouton free. So he
Yes,
doesn't have to have any fear about that.
I have an irrational fear of croutons. Go figure.
Really? That is interesting. What made you develop this fear?
Somebody,
a
his
hard-
mother made him eat a salad once.
Evil.
Oh, yeah. So Joanne, what would your last meal
Oh.
be?
Okay. I want I would like a brownies. Is that bad?
Alrighty then.
Would you like
or
anything in that brownie?
no, you know what? I would like one of those chocolate lava cakes. A la mode as
A la
well.
mode.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm big on a la mode, apparently. I had no
So
idea.
that's your dessert, but what about the entree?
Yeah, okay. So I have to have an entree. Okay, all right.
Well,
I
it's
have
your
to have an
last
entree.
meal.
Hey, it's
You
your
should
meal.
make-
You don't have
You should
to.
make this a feast. It should go on for 12 hours.
That's true.
I call
Okay.
that lunch.
It's tough, man.
Salmon, prime rib, vegetarian eggplant.
Maybe something from one of my favorite vegetarian restaurants. Red Bamboo is one of my favorites. So I'm gonna go
Are
with
you a
something from there.
vegetarian?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
So that works out. I can't. Yeah, even as a last meal, I can't. Like you're talking about prime rib and all that stuff. I still can't go there.
Yeah.
It's
So
just,
pick a plant that grows in Bora Bora, and it's a flower from a plant that grows in Bora Bora, and it only flowers once every 4 years. That's what you demand for your final meal after you've committed
Okay.
a heinous crime.
Do I get to choose the crime I'm committing?
Go ahead.
Sure.
What are we
all
doing?
Well, this was not, I mean, I don't have one like locked and loaded in my head. Oh, all right, it's gonna be manslaughter. I'm just
I
curious
do,
if I needed
actually.
to. Oh, you do really?
I do.
Okay.
But
What
it's
is
only
yours?
it's a crime of complicity, because near the end of my father's life, he was a brave man. He was a World War II hero. He escaped Nazi slavery. He hated Trump. Trump kept my father alive for years. Every morning he'd wake up in the morning and scream at the TV at what Trump had done, said, or tweeted. Near the end of my life, my life, maybe two, I started to get this sick idea of, whether or not my father, how much of a hero he would be if he could get close to Trump. He's a World War II hero. He escaped Nazi. He could pretend to be a sycophant and get close to Trump, and then put some Visine in his drink right before Trump is giving a speech. He'd have diarrhea while he's giving a speech. Most Republicans, that would do it for him. They don't care about the shooting or the raping or the grabbing women's parts
That's true.
or the playing nuclear chicken with Kim Jong-un. But if he was like
Diarrhea
wearing
would
a
do it.
tan suit and had I shouldn't talk like this, Tom. I'm sorry.
It is
But
a
my
little
father,
graphic.
he could have done it. I applauded that. He could have done more. I wouldn't. I love my father, so I couldn't have put like an explosive device on him.
My father bowled with Mussolini.
Did he
Really?
really?
No, I just made that up.
I would have, Tom, you could go with, why do you give up on things like that? Create, exercise.
I guess it would have to be bocce.
Bocce. All right. For what's that other one?
What would it have been like
croquet.
bowling with Mussolini?
That'll make a great podcast. Bowling
with Mussolini.
What does it remind me of? What was it? I bet neither of you have seen it, but it was wonderful. Was it called
Tea with
Swimming?
Mussolini?
No, Swimming from Cambodia, with a wonderful voice artist. Was his name Gary Spalding? Something Spalding.
Spalding Gray?
Spalding Gray, thank you. Do you know that Swimming from Cambodia?
I don't know it.
No, but you know why? Know why nobody
Why?
knows it? Because it was him
Why?
talking and telling a story for 3.5 hours. My comedy routine is telling a story for 2 minutes and people are falling asleep. He did it for 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I guess it's the Spalding Gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a movie you can put on your list after you see the other movie I recommended.
The other movie
Right.
he was in was much more
Interesting.
popular. The other movie was more popular, 50 Shades of Spalding Gray.
There you go.
My comedy partner doing American humor.
Oh, man.
Cambodia.
So, who are your comedy influences?
You guys.
Oh my God, Joanne. Oh my God. We want you on every show of ours. We've done this for 2.5 years. We've asked that question. Nobody has given
Nobody's
the obvious
answered you?
answer. Thank
I
you.
know.
Bless you.
Well, it's, I mean, I've
Yeah,
been
of
waiting.
course.
That's why I came on, to let
Of
everyone
course.
know. You've influenced me.
So who makes you laugh?
You know what? There's a lot of people that make me laugh. Bob Newhart is a good one.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I
I
enjoy
loved
him. He is
I'm-
fabulous.
Do you remember? Did you listen to his album?
Yes, I have. I have the button down mind.
I'm not sure which one it is. Do you remember the he's the captain on the something
the
or other
plane?
Storm Door and airline company?
Yes, yes, that's on that one. Yeah.
This is your pilot speaking. We're approaching Hawaii. Just out of curiosity, it kind of looks like a kidney, doesn't it? Something like that.
He's fabulous. He's fabulous. He's good.
Good pick.
He also, I grew up watching Carol Burnett and Friends. That
All right.
show. I mean, it's not stand up, but I
Lyle
can
Wagner.
so many. Harvey Korman, Tim
I just
Conway.
love Tim Conway.
Vicky.
Oh, he's fabulous.
was
Vicki
the-
Lawrence. Vicki Lawrence. Yes.
She
They're all
won.
great.
She actually got on the show because she won a Carol Burnett look-alike.
Look-alike. No doubt. She
Yeah,
did.
no, it's true.
And she did. She looked like her. She still,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. I guess she probably still does. I would assume. But yeah, so she's right up there
Uh,
with my as a influence, I suppose.
uh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
what
What
I'm
about
going
you,
with.
Tom?
I favor the old Catskill type humor.
Borscht Belts.
Borscht Belt, yeah, set up punchline. Rodney Dangerfield, Henny Youngman, that kind of.
You really rely on punchlines and saying funny things, I think, way too much, Tom.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Enough with the laughing.
I have to work on
Nobody
that.
wants that. Yeah. Seriously.
I want to do our show again where I did your material. I want to do that. I did real quick because we told this story before, but and I know you weren't there, but Tom and I decided I would do his set and he would do mine. And I know his set because it's funny, and I did it well.
I had a little trouble with Doug's.
So at some
Did you?
point, though, I delivered one of Tom's lines that got a laugh, and I turned to Tom, who's up there on the stage with me, and I said, "What are these sounds I'm hearing?"
Those are laughs, Doug. Nice change
Must
over
have
the
been
crickets,
interesting.
huh?
We could really work on an act where the act is me admitting I want to be a comedian, but I'm not funny, so I'm doing my friend's comedy, and then you get up after me and say my friend did all my comedy, so I don't have anything to do, and that'll be the whole act.
Joanne, what was funny is he and I standing next to each other and him doing my fat material.
Interesting.
I stuck my belly out.
Where did you do this?
This was at what was it called? Tierney's Tavern in Montclair.
Oh,
No,
yes.
that's not where
Yes.
we did that.
That's the first time we did it was there. Then we did it at the place in Rutherford.
Okay.
Mm.
And then we never did it again because I got laughs doing Tom's material. Tom did my material. He just didn't know how to pet the dog to bring it to satisfaction.
Well, you live and learn, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting.
I've got a
Must have been
wonderful set of mine recorded where you would come up after me at the end of the set and you made some comment about my closing bit, which had to do with a thermometer.
Oh, I believe I recall that, something about
you can't wash rectal off.
right. Yes. Yeah. Mhm. It's true. And I will stick with that as well as rectal will
Joanne,
stick
you know,
with
as an OCD comic,
anything.
there are just not enough comics out there talking about how to be clean, and particularly in these COVID times where. Okay, I'm sorry, I've had bourbon. I spilled one, and I replaced it.
Drinks are on you.
I am OCD as well. I have,
Are you?
but not a cleaning kind of OCD. It's a
Okay.
different kind. It's a
How does your
more,
manifest?
it manifests in very random ways, which is ironic due to the essentially OCD. It's very un-OCD.
Oh.
It pops up in strange ways, in how I fold my towels and how I pick out cats.
So,
And,
so you fold your towels in thirds and then in half.
How
So
do you
it
fold
fits
your
in the
cats?
slot in your closet.
it's different. They do not go in the closet. The towels go in the bathroom and on the towel rack.
Oh.
Ah,
But I did my most memorable OCD moment was at the supermarket, and I was getting ingredients to make a cake. Was it a cake or cupcakes? And I was trying to pick out, ingredients, and I essentially had a panic attack because I was like, I can't make, Betty Crocker cupcakes with Duncan Hines frosting. It's just,
It's racist.
Been there,
it's
done that.
very, it's gotta be all or nothing. I'm not gonna go crossing the streams and
You're absolutely, you have to stay original equipment. I agree.
yeah. So,
So what
but
did
I'm
you
messy.
do?
I believe I went all in on Betty Crocker. I believe.
You might have, if you were thinking ahead, you might have like cracked open a bottle of the cooking wine in the same aisle and, gotten
Kinda,
over the
yeah.
panic.
I went all in.
Maybe.
I went all in on Betty Crocker. I got a restraining order because of
Well, and that's rightfully so.
Ay.
Exactly. How are you guys? Are you guys doing any comedy stuff during this? Zoom or otherwise?
I'll tell you, I just did a Zoom show Sunday on Valentine's Day. I really dislike Zoom shows, but I succumbed and I agreed to do it. But I got a few indoor live gigs coming up, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, all of a sudden I just reached out to a few people and boom, boom, boom. I'm at the Loretta Winery in New Egypt, New Jersey. Next month. And
how are they working out the logistics? Do they tell you?
I don't know. I know they've been doing comedy. Cricket Comedy's been doing it there for a while now, and they worked it out somehow. I'll find out next
Tom
month.
doesn't know this, but I did the show last month. They encase you in a 7-foot diameter polyurethane bubble. So you will be rolling up safely to the stage, Tom.
I usually do. That's how I roll.
That's it.
I honestly think when we get to the point of herd immunity and whatever it is, 75% of the country, it's going to be a fight near the end because there are an awful lot of anti-vaxxers,
right?
That for some reason don't trust the government. And when they're not,
maybe they'll die off by then. Maybe.
Hey, we can only hope.
I honestly think that was part of our former president's plan. Get rid of the unfavorables.
Well, there you go.
He did pretty good,
Oh,
That's
Doug,
true.
I didn't mention this to you. In April, I'm going to be at Scotty's Comedy Cove 2 nights, opening up for our recent guest, Doug Cork.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck him.
That's delightful.
I don't often use the F word on the air, but Doug, hey, okay, I'm sorry, Tom. I'm happy. I'm happy for you, Tom. Doug is wonderful. I love him.
And
He's my second favorite Doug.
I'm going to be opening for another recent guest.
Fucking kidding
What's
me.
his name? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, good. Yeah, guess who's not going to be opening for him now? Good, you deserve it.
He runs the Laughing Fox in Magnolia, New Jersey. Also at the
Where
end
the
of
hell
March.
is
You forgot his name. I know his name, Steve Rinaldi.
Thank you,
My
Steve
close
Rinaldi.
personal friend, Steve. You ask Tom, you're on a show. Hey, Doug, I want you to come down. I don't really mean that. I'm going to ask Tom, but on air, I'm going to pretend I want you.
Where's Magnolia?
Magnolia is like south of Cherry Hill.
Oh, I've never even heard of it. Wow.
I hadn't either.
Yeah.
I performed there once a few months ago, and that was the first time I ever heard of it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
I hear they
no,
love Jews down there. Is that right?
depends how they're cooked.
This has been Funny Talk with Max.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
he is right.
It feels good to do live shows again.
Yeah.
I'm going stir crazy. I really am.
You and I should try doing a live show sometime, Tom.
Well, they start out live anyway.
Oh, so also listen, for our listening audience that's only listening and not seeing, Joanne, you have a number of very interesting tattoos. Would you like to share with our audience some of the art you have?
Yeah, okay. Well,
Remember, it's a family show.
oh, okay. Well, they can't see if I take my clothes off. Right? This is
Except
audio,
for
right?
when we put
So-
it on
that's
Zoom.
true.
Yeah, on
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah.
My well, I mean, my arms are all Hitchcock movies.
That's
Oh, really?
Movies. Yes,
Nice.
yes. So
One of the greatest directors of all time.
I do enjoy his work.
Yeah.
Thank God,
favorites.
because I would not. Yeah, and yeah.
Do you have a favorite movie of his?
Oh, sorry, my cat just meowed.
I thought that was Hitch.
It's very. It could be. I'm sorry, buddy. I mean to lock you in. It's tough to choose. So many. I enjoy so many, but I do enjoy, I guess, I mean the ones that I have. North by Northwest is up there.
Great movie.
Rear Window.
I was going to say Rear
Also-
Window. I love that.
That is
Princess
hi, Sammy.
Grace, Jimmy Stewart.
Sammy.
Raymond
Yes.
Burr was the heavy.
Yeah, he was. He sure was, wasn't he? It was pretty heavy.
I
a
remember my
classic.
mother telling me, and I never knew this before. I'd never noticed it because I would see the movies on TV all the time. That he always appeared in a cameo early on in the movie.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Hopping on a bus or something like that. That was
Mhm.
it.
Yep. Hey, Sammy.
It reminds
Yeah.
me of that artist that always wrote Nina in all his work, Hirschfield, I think.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that.
If you saw
Hirschfield.
it, you'd see it. It's all
Yeah.
pen and, what do they call it? Pen line ink drawings.
Line drawing.
It was in the New Yorker.
Yeah, he did a lot of
Oh.
celebrity portraits.
Oh, okay.
And his daughter was Nina. And so
His
in the
daughter was
lines,
Nina.
he'd write the name Nina. And you'd try to find it. Anyway.
Interesting.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Interesting.
Yeah, so when it
Yes.
comes to trivia, we're full of it.
That
You
is.
are, Tom.
That's
You're
so
much
true.
better at it than I am.
True is good.
So listen, we're coming to the end of our show. If anybody would like to pitch anything they've got coming up, shows, restaurants, bathroom cleaning services.
Hmm. Ah, I wish I had more to pitch.
You can
Your
pitch
dog's
yourself.
up though. I see your dog is up. He's awake. Your dog.
Griffin,
There you go. There you go. Hey, buddy.
Yay, Griffin.
you're gonna find another spot to go to sleep.
It's like, this is annoying.
It is a dog's life. I'll give you that.
It's good stuff.
So before
well,
we go and Tom
yeah.
repeats what he's got coming up, I'll just say, if you want a comedy show in the New York, New Jersey area, please write to Jack at jirwinproductions.com. He will hook you up with a wonderful comedian and or a group of comedians.
And if you want to see my stupidity live, Friday, March 26th, Loretta Winery in New Egypt, New Jersey, 7:30 showtime. Friday and Saturday, April 9th and 10th, Scotty's Comedy Cove, Springfield, New Jersey, 9 p.m. showtime. And Tuesday, March 23rd, 8 p.m. showtime at the Laughing Fox in where the hell is Magnolia, New Jersey?
And you will be performing and embarrassing the horrible comedians Doug Karpf and Steve Rinaldi,
That's nice.
who
So
should be
nice.
ashamed.
What can I say?
What can you say? Explain
I
it. Is it as simple as you're funny and I'm not? That nobody thinks I'm funny?
You can get gigs, you just have to ask for them.
I
When was the
want
last
people coming to me. Doug, we heard about you. We know Ethiopia is a long way, but we'll pay for all your expenses. But you've got to bring Tom Mangelli and barbecue sauce with you.
And clean my bathroom.
These are things that are necessary.
Joanne, I feel like I've been fighting with Tom because he's been so horrible to me tonight. So I
Well, I hope
don't
you
feel
guys don't
deprived.
get a divorce. No. I hope you stay together, you work out your problems, and because you're a wonderful couple.
If I could drink more bourbon, but then I wouldn't be able to enunciate.
Well,
I'm
you
a
could
couple-
probably suck it out of your desk. I suppose.
On that note, I want to thank you, Joanne, for coming on the show. It was lovely. You're always lovely. I hope to be working with you again soon.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Next show Tom is doing with Joanne Filan. We'll be opening up for her. Another guest who's been on our show. You know something, Joanne?
Yeah.
You're the last guest we're ever going to have on our show. That's
Wow.
it. That's
Okay.
the only way I can see out of this problem.
I tell you what, if I book a show, I'll have you open for me, okay, Doug?
There you go.
Thank you, Joanne.
Doug hasn't
All
left
right.
his house in 14 months.
Well, if you still have legs, then
I've got to
we'll do
clean.
that.
I got
Okay.
cleaning to do.
Fair enough.
So on behalf
Wow.
of Funny Talk with Mangelli and Max, thanks for tuning in, both of you. And we hope to see you next time. For now,
Thanks for having me.
thanks for being had.
Joanne Filan, Filan. Look for her on Facebook. She's a wonderful comedian. You would be so lucky to be able to see her. God forbid you'd be able to book her on a show. But maybe she'll make time for you if you give her enough money. She's worth every penny.
Thank you.
Joanne,
Thank you for that
so
plug.
much.
Thanks for having me. It's great to see you guys.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.